So welcome everybody to the Eastleigh Town Council meeting on the 23rd of July. Nice to see so many of you here, thank you. My name is Councillor Gaz Richardson, I'm the Chair of Eastleigh Town Council. Before we begin, I'd like to remind everyone this meeting is being recorded in accordance with the Council's recording of meetings policy. A recording of the meeting will be uploaded to the Council's website in due course. If any member of the public does not wish to be filmed, please let us know and we will direct you to an area not covered by the camera. Presenters and public speakers will be recorded, but those preferring not to be recorded can submit written representations to the clerk. We allocate 20 minutes at the start for public participation with up to 5 minutes per speaker. Items not on the agenda cannot be debated today, but the Chair or clerk may provide a brief response, follow up in writing or discuss at a later date. Respectful conduct is expected at all times. Disruptive behaviour will not be tolerated and the Chair may intervene or ask individuals to leave the meeting to maintain order. Councillors, by attending this meeting tonight, you have decided that you abide by Section 25 of the Localism Act 2011 and are attending this meeting with open minds to hear and participate in debate the motions brought. You agree to cast your votes in a reasoned and considered manner. Should any councillor therefore believe they are unable to do so or would wish to ensure transparency of commitments to other bodies, I would recommend they declare them when invited to do so. So, moving on to the agenda then. The first item on the agenda this evening is apologies for absence. To receive and resolve to approve apologies for absence. Ruth, have we got any this evening?
We've received apologies from Councillor Constable and Councillor Park, both for work commitments, Chair. Thank you.
Is there a proposal to accept those apologies? Councillor Phillips, is there a seconder? Councillor Irish, all those in favour of approving those? It's unanimous. I don't think there was anyone not voting there. Thank you. The next item is register of interests and dispensations. To receive any declarations of interest or dispensations regarding any items on the agenda. Does anyone have any to declare at this point? No. Okay, we'll move on. Next item, minutes of the last meeting. To receive and approve the minutes of the meeting held on the 18th of June 2025. So those were sent around prior to this meeting. Are there any comments on that, or is there a proposal to accept those minutes? Councillor Barrett, is there a seconder? Councillor Johnson, all those in favour of accepting those? I think that's everyone. Anyone against or abstaining? Abstaining, thank you. Can I borrow your pen? Sorry. Well, we got through a lot in that one. The date is, even though I've just said it, is it 23rd? Thank you. Next item on the agenda is public participation, so the meeting will be adjourned for a maximum of 20 minutes, 5 minutes per speaker to allow members of the public to make representations, answer questions and give evidence in respect to business on the agenda. So do any members of the public want to speak outside of the process for co-option of candidates? We'll deal with that separately. Are there any other general comments that anyone would like to make at this point? No? Okay. Are there any councillor questions or comments? Councillor O'Neill?
I was going to ask whether the Hampshire County Council feedback report or whatever included any details about the number 61 bus.
Ruth, I'm going to hand over to you for this one.
I have actually been in discussion with a group of residents in the Winchester villages who are campaigning against the removal of their bus service in its entirety. And it has been suggested that a few of the parishes that are affected do meet together to discuss the cutbacks and the implications. The report from Hampshire County Council officer runs long and is very detailed and quite difficult to find out exactly what. May I suggest, Chair, that it's covered in the Hampshire County Council updates further on in the agenda if there's any further information?
No, I just wanted to make sure before we got to that stage that I didn't lose the opportunity to speak.
Thank you. Any other comments? No? Okay, we'll move on to the next item. Next item is Chair's comments. So to receive an update from the Chair on matters relating to Town Council activities. So a few things from me this month. So firstly, I want to acknowledge the recent incident on Bishopstoke Road involving the Barton Peveril College bus. It was a very distressing situation, and my thoughts are with all those affected, particularly the students and the driver and all their families and friends. I'd like to thank the emergency services for their quick and professional response, as well as the team at the Hub who provided support on the ground. I sincerely hope that everyone injured is making a good recovery and receiving the care they need. On a more positive note, Eastleigh was a real highlight this month. The town centre was buzzing with food, music and local spirit. Our Eastleigh Town Council stall saw a steady stream of visitors all day, and we used the event to launch our new water refill scheme. So we're encouraging people to download the Refilled app onto their phone, which can help you find free water refill points across the town. Several local businesses have already signed up to that, which is great to see. A huge thanks to our staff and volunteers for running the stall and chatting with so many people across the day. We also gave away some free reusable Eastleigh Town Council water bottles to help get people started, and those were very well received. I know my son is using his for school. I popped along to Eastleigh Motorfest towards the end of June, which was a fantastic day out with my son. There were lots of brilliant vehicles on show, and the event raised funds for the Hampshire and Isle of Wight Air Ambulance. As we know, they're working towards building the new HQ and airbase here in Eastleigh, which will make a real difference. Pleased to report they've now fundraised over half of the costs associated with the move, and in the last couple of weeks they completed on the building and received the keys. The fit out of the building has begun, and they're hoping to be operational in the springtime next year. I was really pleased to attend a presentation of a national accreditation certificate to Eastleigh's Business Crime Reduction Partnership towards the end of June. These are business-led groups that work with police and local agencies to tackle crime and antisocial behaviour in our town centres. Achieving accreditation from the National Association is a real mark of quality, so congratulations to Rich Moody and the bid team for reaching that milestone. I also managed, unfortunately, a very quick visit to Demella last weekend. I had to go to work, so it was a very quick visit, and I managed to get quite wet while I was there. But I believe the sun did shine later in the day. It was lovely, as always, to see the town centre full of colour, music, and the incredible smells of food from across the world. Being on a diet wasn't very nice. It's always a great reminder of the diversity and energy within our community. It's one of my favourite events of the year, and I just wish I could have stayed there longer. In terms of council work, as always, it's been a busy few weeks. I've attended several committee meetings, and I'm also pleased to report that Eastleigh Borough Council has now agreed to remove a clause from the heads of term agreements on the asset transfers, subject to cabinet approval, which had been slowing down our asset transfer programme. With that out of the way, work is now moving at pace, and there's now a real possibility that some open spaces, play areas and potentially a small number of buildings could possibly transfer to the Town Council from the 1st of October. Decisions will need to be made by full council or the Asset Management Committee as per our policy, but as Ruth and I have committed from the start, we'll make sure members are fully briefed and given as much notice as possible so that any decisions can be made confidently and with all the facts. Pleased to let you know that 2 new members of staff will be joining us very shortly. We have a new finance officer starting in early August, and a new asset and open spaces officer will be starting in early September. These roles are both key to helping us manage our growing responsibilities and deliver for residents as the council continues to evolve. Both candidates were fantastic and bring lots with them, lots of experience, which will definitely be crucial in the coming months to help Ruth and the team as we go through the transition. Another key development this month is the outcome of the Community Governance Review. So Eastleigh Borough Council's Administration Committee has now agreed to proceed with the merger of Eastleigh Town Council and Boyett Wood Parish Council. This is a positive and sensible step that will allow us to build a stronger, better resourced local council, better equipped to represent our community and take on more responsibilities as local government changes in the years ahead. While Eastleigh Town Council had supported the idea of a 3-parish merger, including Albrook, the consultation made it clear that residents of Albrook don't currently support joining the merged council. That view was respected, and Albrook will remain a separate parish. In my own remarks at the meeting, I made clear that although I personally believe Albrook would benefit from being part of a larger council in the long term, I fully support the principle of local democracy. Residents made their views known, and those views were quite rightly listened to. EBC are now moving into the second stage of the consultation, which opened very recently, which covers the composition of wards, councillor numbers and other little admin bits like that. It's important to stress that nothing is final until a reorganisation order is signed in November, so things could still change. But in the meantime, Eastleigh Town Council and Boyett Wood Parish Council will continue working with EBC to ensure a smooth and positive transition. Finally, I also attended quite recently the Neighbourhood Watch AGM, representing both the scheme that I run locally and the Town Council. The group were very appreciative of the recent grant that we awarded them. They're planning a leaflet drop in areas like Newtown and round here, this estate, to hopefully help set up some new schemes, so hopefully there is a good level of interest locally there. That's it from me as always. Thank you to staff, volunteers and community partners for their hard work and continued commitment to making Eastleigh a better place for everybody. Sorry, I'll just get the agenda up again. Okay, next item on the agenda is the main event, co-option of 2 councillors to casual vacancies. So to receive expressions of interest under the co-option policy for the 2 casual vacancies for the Town Council. From the candidates are Alexander Cully, we have Christopher Gibbs, Sukhdev Raj, Venkata Priya Varadharajan and Asaf Ali Beg. So candidates will have 5 minutes to introduce themselves to the Council and explain why they wish to be an Eastleigh Town Councillor to start with. We'll do in the order that the expressions of interest were received. Not everyone has to speak, it's entirely up to you whether you want to speak, but you do get 5 minutes. So I will start a timer. So the first one will be Alexander Cully. If you just bear with me 2 seconds. Good evening, Alexander.
Evening.
Over to you.
Well, thank you for inviting me to speak here this evening. The first thing I should say is that actually I've broken off a brief holiday in the Isle of Wight to be here. So it shows that I'm reliable at least, and
Thank you.
I'm not sure that my missus sees things the same way. So I'm not just a candidate, I'm a neighbour. I've been resident in Eastleigh since 2016, in particular the Brookwood ward. I'm proud to call it my home. Myself and my family regularly use the community assets here, the parks, play areas in particular, as you can imagine, and also the community centre. For example, I'm often over at Fleming Park on Thursday nights, getting beaten up for my sins, doing martial arts. So that gives me, I hope, a good insight into what the challenges are, but also what the strengths are in this particular area. Professionally, I'm a small business owner. I set up a business which operates out of Southampton Airport area. It is a governance risk and compliance consultancy. I've spent about 20 years as in compliance, helping financial services firms to make sure that they stay within the law. This has given me a lot of exposure to directors and non-executive directors. I've been a director and non-executive director myself. So this has given me an insight into how decisions are made and how they can be made better. In addition, I should say that I've helped here locally. I mentioned the mailer. I was previously a trustee on the Eastleigh Gurkha Nepalese Association. A lot of veterans there, obviously, and a lot of them live locally. And I helped them actually one of the mailer seasons. But my main role was to help them get their governance back on track, put policies and procedures in place, make sure they comply with their charity commission obligations, survive the audits, all that kind of stuff. So I was helping them. Also, I'm involved with a community interest company which has recently been established here. It's called Aspire UMA, and they're again a martial arts academy. And what they're doing is they're helping local people who are disadvantaged improve their well-being through sports. So that's kind of what I've been doing locally. I know that being a lawyer, I know the sort of insights of the Local Government Act and the Localism Act, and I understand that town council is subject to certain limitations of what it can and can't do in the various tiers of authority. But I do believe it has a town council has real influence where it matters. A good example was during COVID-19, I regularly used to pace around the Brookwood Cemetery to try and get some headspace, and so that shows you what different uses some of these facilities serve. So to summarise, if I were to be co-opted, you'd be getting a good senior level governance practitioner, which hopefully could help you through some of the audits that you've been talking about, things like that. Some of the policies and procedures on here are quite familiar to me, so I like doing the boring stuff like that. So, and yeah, somebody that's reliable, dedicated, and is committed to working for Eastleigh. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Councillors, do you have any questions for Alexander? These are not general questions, any questions for clarity? Or are we happy to move on to the next person? No? Okay, thank you, Alexander. Thank you. Next person on the list is Christopher Gibbs. Christopher, if you just give me 2 seconds, and over to you.
Hello, my name is Christopher Gibbs. I've lived in Eastleigh since 2001. After moving down from East London, I run my business in Eastleigh since 2001. Before starting my business here, I was in the civil service for 2 years. I worked in the Department of Employment. I'm a member of the local Labour Party on the executive committee. I've been a Labour activist for the last year or so. Helped in the election campaign, done some canvassing and things like that. Helped out general stuff. Really, that's all I've got to say. I'm also a member of the Expert Witness Institute. So I'm sort of called upon to be neutral, independent, transparent in all the things I do. So I've got experience in office work and making decisions, and generally just think that I could do a good job in the council. Also, I'm now 60 years old, so I'm beginning to run down my business and looking for something a bit altruistic that will give me the opportunity to give something back to the community rather than just work for myself all the time, which I have done ever since leaving school. So that's really my main reason for wanting to join the council.
Okay, lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Again, are there any councillor questions for clarity on anything there? No? Okay, we'll move on to the next one. Secretary Farage, please. Oh, sorry, Councillor Johnson.
Yeah, the gentleman at the back filming this. Can I say there's a camera going on?
It's permitted.
It's permitted.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry, next candidate is Secretary Farage, please. Thank you.
Hi, Thanks for having me here today. Well, I take this opportunity just to talk a little bit about myself. I moved to Eastleigh in early 1990, so I've been a resident over 36 years now. So I initially moved into Market Street, local, then London Road, therefore moved towards Whitney. So I've got a long-standing relationship with Eastleigh itself. I currently run a business in Eastleigh in the High Street, which is an international food store and a convenience store, so I get to see lots of members of the public on a daily basis, multicultural, all types, from all walks of life. What I bring to the council is my business acumen, very good business, decision making, planning, all the things that are part and parcel of running the business can be brought into the council as well. Things I've done, I've worked for BID as a director, so I understand the dynamics of running the town as well as providing services for the community and laying on certain activities, things like sand pit and all that sort of stuff. I was involved in all of that. I also believe that Eastleigh is beautiful green space and we want to keep it that way. I've personally invested a huge amount of money in solar panels on my own businesses. And it's not been going more than 10 months on the solar panels. And I've already saved about 10,000 kilograms of CO2, which is a huge amount. Obviously, I've put a big investment in there to keep Eastleigh green as well. I think I'm probably the only business that has done that. Another thing I've done previously is started a campaign to bring back Eastleigh Police Station. I believe Eastleigh should be a safe environment for everybody. I've had meetings previously with Paul Holmes, Dolly Jones, and also a couple of occasions they've also come and visited me in the shop. So it just shows my commitment that I've been back and I've been actively trying to get things moving. And I've also chased her up on emails and things. I think she's gone a little bit quiet in the background because she's got an alternative agenda now. So I obviously, for they were looking at the old Barclays Bank as a site, but once they got it surveyed on it, it was too much work as well, so they had to park that. So that's a little bit about me. Hopefully, you know, I love the Midlands, as you say, and I'd like to get more involved in that type of thing. But I'm obviously always putting up posters for these events in my windows in the shop as well. And hopefully I can be a great asset to the town council.
Thank you very much.
Oh.
Are there any councillor questions for clarity there? No? Okay, next is Venkata Priya Varadarajan, please.
All right. Good evening, esteemed councillors and members of the public. I am Venkata Priya Varadarajan, a candidate from representing Development and Democrats. I live right here in the Brookwood ward, and I'm deeply committed to serving the Eastleigh community with all care and love. So my journey to this point has been shaped by two distinct yet complementary paths. Professionally, I work as an engineering leader at a retailer based in Eastleigh. But this role is not just about technical expertise. It's also about strategic planning, decisive action, and efficient project delivery. I regularly manage significant projects with significant budgets, diverse stakeholder needs, and ensure that projects are delivered on time, within budget, and also deliver tangible value. So I'm sure I can translate some of these skills into the Eastleigh Town Council responsibilities, especially within the Policy and Finance Committee, where robust financial management and strategic decisions, I believe, are vital for safeguarding Eastleigh's financial health, or at least Town Council's financial health. My leadership style is rooted in empathy and emotional intelligence, which is what I do with my team at work, and I believe this will be helpful in building robust relationships with the council officers and also the wider Eastleigh community. This is also clear from my recent campaign as an independent candidate for Eastleigh Borough Council, and as a first-time candidate, I managed to secure 1 in 25 votes, which proves my ability to engage with residents locally and represent priorities that truly represent their concerns. Some of my campaign priorities included community safety, a safe space to voice views, and sustainable growth. All of this aligns with the Eastleigh Town Council's values as well, so I could help build an inclusive community for Eastleigh. My passion for Eastleigh is also personal. It's where I live. I already mentioned I live in Brookwood. I live in Brookwood. It's where I work as well. It's right in North Stoneham, and I feel incredibly welcome here. My expertise will be vital in safeguarding the Eastleigh identity during the potential merger with Southampton. And I also invest in the town centre appeal and ensuring that it remains a vibrant hub with smart investments that directly benefit our residents. I believe this also translates to some of the roles in asset management and open spaces committee, so I'm sure I can contribute meaningfully. I'm also committed to sustainability and waste reduction. This is not just a political talking point for me, it's a way of life. I come from a family that practices permaculture and sustainable living. So I have built a profound respect for the environment, but I also have passion for healing it. And I believe this ethos aligns with the greening campaign from the Eastleigh Town Council, where I can further contribute to the great values in the 5 pillars, especially cycle the seed, which I totally resonate with, growing food in our allotments. Ultimately, running for town councillor offers the most impactful way in which I can make a difference, utilize my skills, and prove my passion for Eastleigh. My unique blend of leadership, financial acumen, community engagement, and dedication to sustainability make me an ideal candidate for this Eastleigh Town Councillor, and also deliver the priorities and our values. So thank you for listening to me, and I welcome your questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions for clarity? No? Okay, thank you. And finally, Asaf Ali Beg, please.
I don't know if he's here.
Is he? No? We're not here? Okay, that's fine. Everybody did send an application in ahead, which all councillors have had a chance to read. So the next part of this is to resolve through a vote taken by ballot the candidates to be co-opted to the council, and the number of votes cast recorded in the minutes. Should a councillor request a name vote will be recorded. So the way this is going to work, we're going to hand out ballot papers to every councillor. Obviously there are 5 candidates and only 2 places, so top 2 will be co-opted onto the council. Once councillors have voted, we will adjourn the meeting for a couple of minutes so that officers can go away, count the votes and present us with a result. Councillors, once you've voted, if you can fold them in half, please, and then the officers will come round and collect the votes. Anyone? Councillor Phillips? Any more to collect? Oh, just 2 there. And Lloyd at the end, I think. Sorry? Okay, is that everybody voted? I believe so. Okay, we're just going to adjourn the meeting briefly, so I'll stop the recording.